Wish that I could stay, wish for this moment to never go away. But it's all in my mind, and though I know that there is nothing to find, you're a beautiful sight in the summer night. And you can't put up a fight in the misty light. See how you've grown while you roam in the streets all alone. All you can see, thinking about what your life came to be. You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light. Another day, like the mothers of Brazil find their way. We're all on our own, but you're the most beautiful I've ever known. You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light.
This trail guide is going to be a little bit longer than most because Vernal and Nevada Falls via the Mist Trail is one of the, if not the most popular hike in Yosemite Valley. There's a lot to cover here. I'm going to try and keep it concise, but I also want to make this incredibly comprehensive so that you know exactly what to expect if you head out and visit these beautiful and amazing trails. Let's jump into those details. Vernal and Nevada Falls via Mist Trail is 6 miles. Elevation gain is about 2,200 feet, and that is very important. I'll get to that when we talk about trail details. Route type is a loop. We're not gonna spend too much time on all trails here. You'll notice people really seem to love this hike, and for good reason. We're gonna go into the NPS website instead, and you'll notice this trend with the rest of the Yosemite videos. So the NPS website actually has really good information about the hikes in Yosemite Valley. First things first, you can see here the distance to the fall footbridge. This is where the water fountain and the first set of bathrooms are. Very important, 1.6 miles round trip. What if you want to get to the top of Vernal Fall? This is where the majority of people go and then turn around. And then if you want to do the top of Nevada Fall and then turn around round trip, you can see there 5.4 miles. This does tell you that you can loop, combine the Mist Trail and John Muir Trail into a loop. This is basically what this trail is here. Let's talk about how to get here very quickly, and then we'll jump into everything you need to know. In Yosemite Valley, this is gonna be all the way on the edge on the east side. So you'll see the Mist Trail and John Muir Trail trailhead. This is where it officially starts. Now, it is very important to note that you research this hike prior to going, depending on the season, because in wintertime, there are pieces of this hike that are closed. And I'll get to this specific point here in a moment. The big important thing for you to know is that if you come during, say, winter or even early spring and the shuttle system is still not 100% up and ready, you may have to stop here at Curry Village and then walk about a mile, a little bit more, to the actual trailhead. This is flat. You walk through all the campgrounds, which is really pretty, but it does add a little over a mile one way to the trail. So you could very easily end up doing 8+ miles on this day, which is exactly what happened to us. We took the shuttle from the visitor center that took us and dropped us off here at Curry Village, and then we basically followed this way all the way back this. All right, let's spend the most of our time today talking about those trail details, and this is where I really want to dive in. I'm gonna split this into sections to make life just a little bit easier. So from 1 to 2 here, pretty straightforward. This is where the footbridge is. Again, this is where the first set of bathrooms, the water fountain, a ton of people are hanging out at this area. Now, it is a bit of an incline to get there, and it's definitely, people make the effort to get up here, and then they stop and they rest here. You'll see a lot of people hanging out at the rocks, enjoying the river passing underneath the bridge. Now, you keep going, and this is where you really get onto the Mist Trail. And this part here, see on the map here, Mist Trail, all the way to number 3, is where you get little sneak peeks of Vernal Fall. You start to see it and hear it in the distance. It is absolutely amazing. I've never been on a hike like this, and I think if you look at the reviews, people love it because of this part of the hike. It is so freaking beautiful. Now, I would recommend that you wear good shoes because it is misty, as the name suggests, and although there are steps, it is slippery. And if you're going down, it's even scarier than going up. Let's talk about an incline here, right? You'll notice here, as soon as you start to get to Vernal Fall, it's a pretty good incline to get all the way to the top. And that's something that, when you get to the top of Vernal Fall, you are at a point where you're like, okay, I think it's time we take a little bit of a break. And it is definitely a spot set up where you can enjoy the river, sit down, eat a snack, do what you gotta do. So Emerald Pool is just a pool head. It's the pool of water here before it falls down into Vernal Fall, right? So this is what feeds the falls here. This is really where the meadow forest part of this hike really kicks in. Now, the best part about this is that by the time you get to Emerald Pools and you keep going from there, you're gonna find a lot more solitude on this hike. The first part of this, as you see here on the Mist Trail to the fall, of course, that is the busiest. It is like Disneyland, the amount of people that are on this hike. That's the only part of this that is not enjoyable, but given the scenery, still very much worth it. I really loved this portion as you head up to essentially the top where you get to Nevada Fall. So this whole part here, there's some rocks, but it's very forest-like, very meadow-like. You start to see Nevada Falls in the distance here. These are the little switchbacks. This is a good little incline as well here. It makes it a little less difficult because it's switchbacks, but you are doing a little over 2,000 feet of elevation gain. This is why this is rated as hard. I would still put this as moderate, but it definitely has its points of challenge to it. Here, enjoy the views of Nevada Fall over here. You're hiking on the north side of it. This is the part where people hook up to go to Half Dome. There are more bathrooms up here, which is again really nice. And then you'll loop it around and you'll go to Nevada Fall. Same sort of deal, really panoramic views of the forest and Yosemite Valley from this point here. An awesome place to stop, grab a snack, hang out at. And at this point, you've done the hard work. This is the point where you can say, man, the rest of this hike is gonna be really enjoyable. Minor inclines at most. It is really nice. And then as you loop it around here, you get really pretty views because you start to see Nevada Falls on the right-hand side a little bit further away. When we went in late April, there was still some snow, so there was some water melt that was coming from the rocks. It just made a really great experience, this entire hike up to Clark Point. Now, some of these trails here that cut across are closed in winter, and this is why I emphasize that you check before you go. If it's too icy, they won't let you cut across. I would still recommend that you go down this way to loop the whole trail. This part here of switchbacks, again, you're losing altitude. It's just meadow, a lot of trees, just very beautiful, but you're definitely ending the hike. And this is where I saw the little cub bear that I took pictures of. Really awesome. Everyone kind of stops and just from a distance stares. You reconnect back where you originally started on that Mist Trail section. And then, The nice thing here is that you can do a short walk to the footbridge, use the restroom again, fill up your water bottles, whatever it is, and then make your way down. One of my favorite hikes ever, hands down. 6 total miles, granted if you can get to the actual trailhead, 2,200 feet elevation gain. That's a great hike, a great workout. And overall, just A+ of a hike. Really would recommend to anybody thinking about going to Yosemite and doing a day hike. This is it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for Lower Yosemite Falls and Mirror Lake coming out in the next couple weeks. And I'll see you guys soon.